Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Ooh, a little chilly out there tonight with the temperatures into the mid and upper 20s. 26 Pontiac, Jacksonville, Lincoln, then 27 from Springfield over to Decatur. It's going to be a chilly start to tomorrow morning. We've also got a little bit of a breeze out there, so it actually feels like 23 with the wind chill. In Champaign, feels like 22 in Decatur. We've got the clear skies, so those temperatures will continue to fall off as we go throughout tonight. And just a heads up, if you've got to be out early in the morning, a frost scrape alert. Scrape it off the frost on the windows at 22 degrees. May allow a little extra time there. All right, coming back. Got to bounce back for the weekend. Looking good. But next week, big cold snap. We'll show it to you. Coming up, WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
When you depend on the chair, they're my legs, basically.
And her wheelchair's been damaged several times by airlines. How they're now being held accountable. Plus, blue's a different color for a porch light, while they're popping up in one community.
There's just so many nice souls now during this.
And they're all standing behind one family while they helped light up the night.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
I love to travel. I hate to fly.
This woman's wheelchair has been damaged multiple times by several airlines. She's among thousands who experience the same problem. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Federal law now requires airlines to report the numbers of wheelchairs and scooters broken by staff. The U.S. Department of Transportation says on average 29 wheelchairs are mishandled each day. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen joins us now. So Jennifer, this type of data didn't used to be available.
Paul, previously, airlines weren't required to report this information. Senator Tammy Duckworth, who uses a wheelchair herself, pushed legislation for the Federal Aviation Administration to change its requirements of airlines. Now they have to keep track of and publicly disclose when wheelchairs are damaged so people can be aware of those records before booking a flight.
I've had my chair damaged several times.
Barb Bressner is a fairly frequent flyer. She books flights a few times a year for vacations. But unfortunately, airline staff breaking her wheelchair is also a frequent occurrence.
In fact, just last year when we traveled, it was damaged on the way and on the way back.
It's happened to her about 5 times. The most recent case resulted in the fender of the wheel being cracked after she says airline staff mishandled her power chair. Her experience isn't an isolated incident. Between January and September this year, 7,747 chairs were mishandled by airlines. All U.S. airlines are required to report individual stats to the Department of Transportation, specifying how many wheelchairs and scooters they handle and how many were mishandled. Bressner says wheelchairs should be taken better care of.
When you depend on the chair, they're my legs, basically.
In her case, the multiple damage reports she's filed with airlines has cost the companies thousands of dollars. In her opinion, that's money that could be used for something else.
There needs to be training for their handlers. They shouldn't be handling wheelchairs and other adaptive equipment like a piece of luggage.
Disability advocates say the number of mishandled wheelchairs could be much higher than 29 per day because there are passengers who don't formally report damages to the airlines or don't notice the damage immediately. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jennifer, thanks. Another suggestion people have made to airlines is allowing passengers to sit in their wheelchairs during flights. The U.S. Access Board is testing the safety of strapping the wheelchairs to the floor while flying. VA police say everything is safe after a suspicious package was delivered to the campus in Danville. It was addressed to the VA and had "Open Here" written on it. When it was being x-rayed in the mailroom, it came up as a possible threat. Investigators evacuated the building and called in the East Central Illinois Bomb Squad. When they opened it, they found Christmas cards inside. They say the metal in the glitter is what raised a flag. A man is dead after a workplace accident. It happened at a construction site near Cardinal and North Staley Roads. The Champaign County coroner says 58-year-old Billy Thomas of Mansfield died after being hit by a large end loader. Officials are still investigating. The The woman accused of driving her car off the unfinished Bradley Bridge in Champaign was today arrested again. Asia Marshall was arrested for DUI. Police say she hit a woman with her car near Burr Oak Court at Oakwood Trace Townhomes this morning and then drove off. One neighbor says they heard a fight and saw a driver back into a woman, then take off. Police aren't saying how or where they found Marshall. We do know she and the victim were both taken to the hospital. Police say that victim is expected to survive. We have a follow-up on the man convicted of kidnapping and killing U of I scholar Ying Zhang. Brent Christensen is now in a maximum security prison. He was moved from the Oklahoma City Federal Transfer Center. He'll likely spend the rest of his life at a high-security federal penitentiary in southeastern Kentucky. The Zhang family lawyer says the family hoped he'd be in a maximum security prison and wanted to know where he would be punished. Steve Beckett says he contacted the Zhang family once he heard the news.
And by having him in a facility where he is surrounded by people of violence, maybe that's something that will ameliorate the very hurtful feelings and emotional damage that he's done, but it will never replace Ying.
Christensen had requested to be transferred to a prison in Arizona, but was likely denied for security reasons, though there is a high-security prison in that state. New at 10, a woman in Danville was sentenced to 50 years for killing her wife. 50-year-old Shelley Murphy hit her wife, Daylin Murphy, in the head during a fight in 2018. She sat on their floor unconscious for 3 days with a brain bleed. Shelley never tried to get help. Daylin's body wasn't found until Shelley's sister called 911. State police arrested one of their own for sexual abuse and assault. 29-year-old James Dirks is accused of having inappropriate sexual contact with 2 victims while he worked at Vandalia High School. That was before he was a trooper. He has since been relieved of his duties. Champaign police are still investigating a shooting from last night. It happened just before 5:30 on Kenwood Road. Police say a 30-year-old man was shot, but he should be okay. No one has been arrested. Community leaders in Champaign are taking steps to stand against an increase in violence. The state's attorney's office says the number of reports involving young people either possessing or using a gun has nearly quadrupled in just 2 years. That number rose from 7 cases in 2017 to 25 by September of this year. The Boys and Girls Club of Champaign says it is all about taking steps toward prevention.
We've added a few more mentoring programs. We've expanded our Teen Reach programs, which is for youth who potentially have the potential to be in negative events, and we've expanded those programs as well.
Burton also says these programs will provide safe spaces and tools for kids to be responsible, caring citizens. An effort to end violence in Danville is growing by the dozens. Neighbors are putting blue lights on their porches. It's a sign they'll report crimes to police, and they're standing up against violence. The group encouraging it is called Concerned Citizens of Danville. Supporters say it is the best way to let people know they stand together.
No, it's just a show of support. I just think it'll stand out from the normal light, porch light, and maybe it'll make them think twice about coming to the neighborhood with some trouble.
The group's meeting at noon Sunday to knock on doors and ask people to use those blue lights. They'll be walking in the area of Harmon and Grant Streets where some of that violence is happening. New at 10, a significant change could be coming to Champaign schools. The agenda for Monday's board meeting previews an expected proposal to swap the locations of 2 of the elementary school campuses. The change would impact Garden Hills and International Prep Academy. Student, staff, and the instruction at the schools would shift from one building to the other. Garden Hills is a federally funded magnet school. International Prep is a dual language learning school. If the change happens, IPA would expand to add middle school students. There are also multiple proposals detailed for construction at the IPA building located on Kirby Avenue. We will continue to follow this story as it develops both on air and online. One app is supposed to save you from having to dig for coins to pay for parking, while it's causing some headaches instead. Plus, sometimes a little encouragement can go a long way. Some elementary students are helping college students. And the NCAA tournament is a familiar place for Illinois volleyball, but they have to take down Utah to stay in.